Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Right Wing Vegan Podcast. It is so good to have you guys back with us today. Hey, and you know what? If you're on the YouTube channel, you're getting a little bit of a surprise. We are actually doing video today. Now, no frills on the video, y'all. No frills, because listen, I could have delayed the video for longer. We could have got a nice little backdrop to have behind us. We could have produced an introduction video that would have been classy. But I just said, you know what? I can't delay this any longer. We've been putting this off for too long. We just need to pull the trigger and we need to go live. So you're going to get a stuttery video maybe. You're not going to get any frills, but we're live. We're on video and you get to see my beautiful face here on the Right Wing Vegan Estate. Now, we got a lot to talk about today, guys. I did a podcast yesterday. Full disclosure. Tested out the video yesterday, did not have my mic on. So I did about 30 minutes of me just talking to myself, not recording. So it was probably the best podcast I've ever done, to be honest with you. I think it was the best one we've ever done. And I'm a little sad that you will never get to hear it. And there's no way that I'm going to be able to recreate the magic that we created yesterday. So that's just lost forever, which is an unfortunate state of affairs. But we're here. And we're alive, and we're just going to move forward. That's all you can do in these situations is move forward. Speaking of moving forward, I want to talk today about what unfortunately is probably the biggest story today. I say unfortunately because I do wish that we could focus on some of the more important things going on in the United States of America and the world as a whole today. I mean, why am I not talking about GameStop? Well, because that whole thing is maybe over. Maybe over. To the moon. Maybe not, though. Maybe we stopped in the clouds and we came back down. And that's because we allowed the mainstream media to win. We allowed them to divide us. Us folks who were in on this, right? Wall Street Bets, the forum is completely divided now. Like the old mods are fighting with the new mods. It's a big thing, okay? But we're not going to talk about that today because we've got to talk about AOC. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Because she's back in the news, baby. If that woman is good at anything, it is owning the news cycle. And we know that, don't we? Because all you ever hear about is AOC. AOC is very much the left's version of Donald Trump. Now, people on the left are all like, whoa. How dare you compare AOC to Orange Man fascist? But the truth is, AOC shares a lot of the same positive traits that Donald Trump has. Donald Trump was able to command the attention of the media. Donald Trump was able to manipulate the media, manipulate a story to focus and center on him. So you were constantly talking about Donald Trump. And then when the media realized, oh snap, people like us talking about Donald Trump. They latched on, man, and they couldn't stop talking about Trump. Trump was their cash cow, and they milked that thing for all it was worth. They're still milking that cow. That cow has since gone a few farms down, and they're chasing it in their trucks, trying to get a little bit of that milk out of that cow still. But AOC is another cow. See, AOC knows how to command the media. Now, the difference is the media was operating against Trump and they're operating for AOC. So they'll run cover and protection for AOC. And what she's really good at is using that tool to control the message she wants to send. She's also super good at utilizing social media to get people on her side. She's just good at manipulation. That's what she is. Now, usually bad people are the ones who are good at manipulation, and they use manipulation to get what they want. I'm not going to sit here and argue that Donald Trump is a good person. He ain't a good person, okay? The dude is a bad person. He uses manipulation to get what he wants. People who own businesses, typically large businesses, big CEOs, billionaires in this country are typically not good people. If you think that Bill Gates is a good person, you need to look up Bill Gates' history. You need to do some research on that dude and see how he got his billions, because he ain't squeaky clean. Let's just put it that way, okay? AOC manipulates low information people. And she does so by playing off of emotion, right? Low information people who aren't as in tune, right? They just watch CNN, they get their information from CNN, they trust it's truth. Now, we know it's not truth, but they trust it as truth. Those folks are easily manipulated. They run off emotion. So AOC comes out, and CNN backs up everything she says, right? But she comes out and she tells a story about how she was fearful at the Capitol, right? And she was worried people were going to kill her. And she talks about this police officer who comes and knocks on her door. She was hiding in her bathroom, blah, 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 blah. Okay. She's getting absolutely roasted for this story because it turns out she wasn't even in the Capitol building at all. She was in her office, which is not in the Capitol building. Now it's in the Capitol complex. And she's claiming that's the same thing because she's running defense, right? She's got to run defense now. She was caught. And this has become a big kerfuffle, right? Because the right is like hammering her, saying, you lied, you lie, you liar, you know? They're calling her Alexandria Ocasio-Smollett. That's what's going around right now. But the truth is, you know, she is kind of lying. I mean, I'm not going to doubt that she was afraid. No one should doubt that, right? First of all, I don't blame her for being afraid. I'd be afraid too. And I'm not going to question how you feel about something. How you feel about something is how you feel. That's your opinion on the matter. I can't sway you on that, and I'm not going to try to. Why would I argue that she was afraid? She probably was afraid. I would have been afraid too. But the truth is, she decided to go back to her office. She could have went into a secure location with other folks, other Congress people, right? Because they were being let out and they were being led into secure locations. But she stated out loud that she didn't want to go with the other Congress folks because she was afraid of Republicans. Now that's a completely crazy. That's a crazy fear, right? I mean, let's just be honest. If you're afraid your coworkers are going to harm you, that might be a little bit of an outlandish fear, and I don't think you can justify that. Like, how can she legitimately justify being afraid of these people who have never, like, threatened her, right? Lauren Boebert carries a firearm, but she's never threatened AOC, and she's never been accused of any behavior that would indicate that she is a threat with that firearm. As a matter of fact, she's probably one of the safest people to have that firearm on those grounds because of the amount of training that she has had to go through to keep her concealed carry, to run her business, and to carry her firearm. She obviously cares very much about gun safety. She's taken courses. She requires her staff at her restaurant that she owns to take courses to carry a firearm. You are very safe in the hands of a Lauren Boebert carrying a firearm. All right. Now, again, no one's questioning the fear of what happened that day, because I'd be so afraid if people were just storming the gates of my house. I'd be terrified, right? And I'd be justifiably terrified. So no one should be criticizing AOC for the fear that she felt. You can't blame her for that fear because it wasn't her. She didn't storm the Capitol. Okay? A bunch of goofballs stormed the Capitol. She didn't do it. All right? And to be honest with you, so you can't question that fear, but what we can question is her reaccounting of the story. Not because whatever, right? We shouldn't even care, to be honest with you. But we do care. It's national news. And she is using it. She's using this story to gain political points. That's what we can criticize. I don't care about her story. She can tell as many outlandish stories she wants. That's fine. I mean, you want to lie to people, okay. I mean, that doesn't make you a great person, but okay. But the fact of the matter is she's using this story to gain political capital. And it's working because of low information folks who just believe everything that she says. Or because we're so tribal now. We're so left and right. We're so just tribal that no matter what, we're going to defend these people who represent our tribe. So AOC could walk out and slap a grandmother in the face, and her supporters will defend that action. Even if she had no reason to do it, they will find a reason. And you can say the same thing about Donald Trump on the right. I mean, I'll be honest, I'll call a spade, right? Some folks, some Trump supporters, Donald Trump could walk out, he could throw a puppy in a vat of acid, and the Trump supporters are going to justify that, right? They will. It's the same thing. It's just this tribalistic nature that we live in right now and that we flow in and we ebb in. We're all so tribal that we can't even call out our own tribe's mistakes. Take folks on the right. You know, at first, there was a lot of defense about what happened at the Capitol. People were defending those actions. And I'm not here to say whatever, okay? I'm just going to tell you that whatever their goal was with storming the Capitol, it didn't work, man. And it was never going to work. It was never a good plan. It wasn't, because you do stuff like that and you literally are just opening yourselves up as a target. You seriously are. And you're giving the other side ammunition to use against you and your cause, right? Now, people can say the media covered one way and another a different way. That's a fair assessment and a fair criticism of the media. But that doesn't justify the actions of those individuals who decided to take the law into their own hands. That was a mistake. And honestly, those people should be charged with a crime. I'm probably going to lose followers for saying that, but a truth's a truth. I, as a human being and a person who likes to consider myself honest, cannot say that individuals who burn down businesses in Portland should be held accountable, and folks who storm the gates of the Capitol in Washington shouldn't be held accountable. That would make me a hypocrite. I don't want to be a hypocrite, okay? I just want to be honest, and I want to tell the truth. I don't want to report things the way that they are. So just circling back on all this, okay? Why is AOC taking heat? Because she's using this for political capital, man. She's really good at it, and she's doing that. AOC, you can have your opinions about her all you want. Personally, I think she's an actress. I don't think she believes half of what she says, because when she has the opportunity to actually pass laws that would make the changes that she says that she wants, she just balks on it and fights back and never does anything, right? She sides with the elites behind doors way more than she does out in front. She'll say something. She's a lot like Republicans, now that I think about it. She'll say something. She'll talk a big, strong game. But when push comes to shove, she won't do anything about it. There was this video that went around, right? It was AOC listing out her accomplishments or whatever, okay? And she, most of her accomplishments were all theoretical. They were all explained away, a lot of naming post offices, things like that, right? Now, she's a freshman congresswoman. You shouldn't expect her to break the world down, okay? She wrote the Green New Deal, but okay, yeah, she wrote it, okay, yeah, sure. But she did present it or whatever, so you can say whatever you want there. But I just, AOC had the chance. I mean, take a look at this GameStop stuff. Let's just use this as a prime example, right? Obviously, if this did anything, it highlighted what mutual funds have been doing for years and years and years and years, shorting stocks. In some cases, over shorting the stock, shorting more stock than you have, than it's available for the company. And there's a lot of legal ramifications for that type of stuff, right? And all of this stuff was exposed. The manipulation of the markets when people were trying to buy GME and they shut it down. Robinhood's weird, strange decisions during this time that might be able to be explained away, but they still look super sus. Regardless, all of this stuff, right? And AOC comes out and she talks big talk, right? She's talking big talk. But then Ted Cruz says, listen, you got Republican support on this issue. I would work with you on this issue. That's the opportunity, right? Right there. That's the opportunity. If you really want to make change, then you gotta work with the other side to make that change. Otherwise, you're all talk. And that's what happened, man. She had the opportunity to partner with Ted Cruz, the left and the right coming together to knock out these hedge funds who so deserve it, by the way. But what does she do? She shifts the narrative away from the GameStop controversy, away from the hedge funds. She shifts it back to partisan tribal BS. She makes some bold, outlandish, ridiculous claim that Ted Cruz tried to have her killed. That is outrageously stupid. That is such a stupid emotional statement. Kills any action that may have happened on the GME thing. It changes the narrative. So now folks aren't even focused on the hedge. If anything, she did great work for the hedge funds and the establishment, man. Because she completely shifted the narrative back to you hate me and I hate you, and that's what we need to be focused on. And that is not what we should be focusing our attention on right now. We had the opportunity to band together and fight these hedge funds, to fight Wall Street, to fight the establishment, populists from the left, populists from the right, all coming together to fight. And you know what we did? We allowed some buffoon to turn us against each other once again because we're all so easily played, dog. We're all so easily played by the establishment, man. And that's what's sad, isn't it? Why are we all so easily played? Because you know what? In real life, it ain't that way. It really isn't. I know people who do not agree with me. Who, as a matter of fact, I know people who fervently disagree with me on politics, and I'm able to work with them, and I'm able to live with them, and I'm able to coexist with them. In real life, right? In my circle. See, this is the thing, man. Only the extreme of the extreme people apply these rules to their own circle. Most normal people, most sound, reasonable people, right? They don't apply these tribalistic rules in their circle. You might have a mom or a dad who completely disagrees with you. You might have a brother or sister, a cousin, a friend, and you don't just cut them out. If you're a sane person, right? If you got all your faculties about you, you do not cut these people out of your life because they disagree with you. You're still able to be friends. You're still able to be coworkers. You're still able to have a relationship. So why do we do this to people who are outside of our circle when we have the ability to actually accomplish something? Why are we so easily turned against each other? And they've been doing this for years, man. You go back to the original Occupy Wall Street. That's when identity politics really started to blow up. And it's convenient that it happened around a time when folks from the left and folks on the right were fighting for the same cause. And then here comes identity politics, and all of a sudden we hate each other again. And we're at each other's throats again. It's a tool used by the establishment to make you hate me and me hate you. And as long as we continue to be easily manipulated, as long as we continue to be low information, we don't seek out the other side, we don't look at other opinions, we don't challenge our own opinions. Instead, we get into a hive, right? We get into that echo chamber with folks who just constantly agree with us, and we just soak it all up, right? We just soak up all of those feels and that same opinion that I have. We constantly want to be reaffirmed. We constantly want to play victim because we want other people to feel sorry for us, because probably we're all lacking something in our lives. And this is our way to seek that out. Now, whatever that is whatever it is, right? But that's maybe an explanation for this, a psychological explanation for why we're so easily manipulated, right? Because we want the attention. We want people to feel sorry for us, because maybe in some ways we feel sorry for ourselves. But as long as we continue to be weak tools for the establishment to be against each other, we're never going to get anywhere. And this goes for AOC too, right? She deserves some of the criticism she's getting because, in all honesty, she shouldn't be using this story to gain political points. And it's pretty obvious at this point that she is. I mean, she can tell her story, and I'm not even talking about, just to be fair and to separate this out, I ain't even talking about, if she's a victim of certain assault. That's awful. That's awful, man. And big respect to her for having to go through that and deal with that and live and being able to really be pretty successful and overcome some of the mental effects that type of stuff can have on you, right? Nobody wants to again, if people are, then they're ridiculous, because nobody wants to criticize anybody for being a true victim. However, you can also, it can exist in two different ways. I can feel sorry for you and what you've gone through, and I can respect you for being able to come through it. But I can also think it's a little shady and a little dirty to use a story like the one of the Capitol and to manipulate that story, to manipulate people to get brownie points and to get, political points and to be more famous than you are. And I think that's what's going on. And then when you come out and you say outlandish things like about Ted Cruz, first of all, you owe Ted Cruz an apology. Second of all, it's just kind of a ridiculous thing. Ted Cruz was doing what he thought was right. He never told anybody to do anything bad. He was doing what the Constitution allows him to do, and it's the same thing the Democrats did in 2016. So there's no, you're not allowed, if you're a Democrat, you're not allowed to say what happened. People objecting to whatever, right? People following the Constitution and going through the constitutional process when it comes to elections. You can't criticize anybody for doing that when you did the same thing in 2016. You can also think that it's right to follow a constitutional process, and at the same time, damn anybody who would break the law to accomplish any goal. because you have to operate within the law. And if you think the law is unfair, then you need to take actions to change the law. That is provided to you as a citizen. It's provided to our legislature. You are in charge of who you elect, who represents you, who represents your district, who represents all of that. That's you, and you get to vote for that person. So in a way, you are in charge of that. Plus, as a citizen, you have certain rights to change the laws as well. There are processes for you to go through that you can go through to inspire this type of change. Now, I want to wrap this up in a bow. As long as we continue to focus on divisive politics that have no real benefit to us, we will never really accomplish anything. Just keep your eyes open for the next 2 years and let's see what Congress and the Senate accomplish. Because right now it seems like it's going to be more of the same that we've had the last 4 years. They just might have to shift their targets to other people besides Donald Trump. But we're going to get into that tomorrow. I want to thank you guys for listening. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you like what you see and hear, please subscribe, like, comment, do all of the things. Share this with somebody that you know, and share other conservative voices that you like to listen to, because we need to get those voices out. I don't know how long I'll exist on this platform now that I'm doing video, but we'll see how long it goes. Obviously, the podcast will stay. Thank you guys very much. I will see you guys next time.